Hello there, and welcome to the weekly Asylum and Immigration Reform Update, where I share with you 5 recent stories of interest to asylum seekers and those who want to stay current on immigration news. This week, we're discussing
a bipartisan bill focused on comprehensive immigration reform, including enhanced border security and pathways to legal status for some undocumented immigrants, has been introduced in Congress and actually has a chance to become law. The Biden administration is facing a challenge with over 1.5 million sponsorship applications for migrants from Cuba, Haiti, Nicaragua, and Venezuela, threatening to overwhelm the parole programs for those countries. New York City's mayor is pushing for faster work authorization for asylum seekers in the city and for more support from the federal government. A nonprofit group has raised concerns about the Biden administration's rushed deportations at the southern border, pointing out obstacles to legal counsel and a lack of clarity about asylum processes for detainees. And finally, 4 Chinese immigrants in Florida are suing over a new law preventing them from buying land, alleging it infringes on their constitutional rights and parallels the historically discriminatory Chinese Exclusion Act.
I'm Brian Manning, and I used to be an asylum officer with the government, but now, as an asylum lawyer, I help immigrants all over the country to secure their future in America through asylum. It's my pleasure to bring you asylum and immigration reform updates each week, right here on the Political Asylum Lawyers YouTube channel. Okay, let's get to the news. First up,
could immigration reform really happen this time? Lawmakers have introduced the Dignity Act, a bipartisan bill aimed at reforming the U.S. immigration system. The bill represents the first significant bipartisan immigration reform effort in over a decade. The proposal focuses on halting illegal immigration, proposing dignified solutions for undocumented immigrants in the U.S., bolstering the U.S. economy and workforce, and ensuring future prosperity and competitiveness. Developed in consultation with business, agriculture, faith communities, immigration reform groups, and border security experts, the act offers what its authors say is a comprehensive approach to immigration reform. Provisions include enhanced border security, protections for dreamers, agricultural worker reforms, and crucially, pathways to legal status for certain undocumented immigrants who have been in the country for more than 5 years, and comply with stringent requirements. I'll get into the details in a future video. Stay tuned.
And next up, for update number 2.
In a matter of months, over 1.5 million individuals have petitioned to sponsor migrants from Cuba, Haiti, Nicaragua, and Venezuela in the U.S., posing a challenge to the Biden administration's goal of curbing border crossings by asylum seekers. There is concern that the immigration agency will only be able to manage a small fraction of the applications, and the remaining individuals, while waiting, may resort to crossing the southern border. The influx of applications has overwhelmed U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services, which is capable of approving a maximum of 30,000 arrivals per month under the program. There has been no signal that the monthly cap will be increased, despite the considerable backlog of applications.
All right, time for our third immigration update.
The governor of New York and the mayor of New York City are advocating for the White House to expedite the work authorization for the city's asylum seekers, aiming to supplement the labor force amidst a notable workforce deficit. The current authorization procedure, which restricts migrants from legal employment for 180 days post-asylum application, is deemed insufficient by the governor. They aim for over 70,000 asylum seekers to quickly occupy various roles, including agricultural and food service jobs. Mayor Adams underscored that the $30 million financial assistance from the Biden administration pales compared to the $1 billion already expended on the surge of immigrants, with anticipated costs up to $4.3 billion.
And moving right along, update number 4.
A nonprofit group has identified serious concerns with U.S. immigration practices as the Biden administration tries to speed up deportations of people seeking asylum at the southern border. Issues include obstruction of legal counsel access during credible fear interviews, limiting access to important documents by detained asylum seekers, and unsatisfactory communication about asylum processes. A report by the organization says U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services and the immigration courts are disregarding attorney-client relationships and continuing with credible fear interviews without an asylum seeker's attorney present, often leading to negative outcomes for asylum seekers. The policies put in place make it nearly impossible for most asylum seekers to understand the credible fear process or obtain meaningful legal assistance. The organization also emphasizes the traumatic experience asylum seekers face during this process, which is compounded by the restrictions and limitations put in place by the current system.
And finally, our 5th immigration update for this week.
4 Chinese immigrants living in Florida are challenging a new law that prevents them from buying land in the state, This law was signed by Governor Ron DeSantis with the aim of reducing influence from the Chinese Communist Party. The plaintiffs argue that the law discriminates against them and infringes on their constitutional rights. They compare it to the historical Chinese Exclusion Act, which was decidedly discriminatory. With support from groups like the American Civil Liberties Union and the Chinese American Legal Defense Alliance, they're hoping to have the law declared unconstitutional before it takes effect in July 2023.
And that wraps up this week's immigration news. If you want to win asylum in the United States, then you should call my office today. That number is 713-352-1593. We help people all over the country, so it doesn't matter where you are. Call us now to schedule an asylum strategy session so that we can help you secure your future in America through asylum. Again, I'm Brian Manning, and it's an honor to serve you in your immigration journey.